So the Greens reckon legal weed could make the country over $700 million a year in tax revenue, but what will it cost? So this week, the Greens announced a fully costed plan for legalising cannabis in Australia. They've gotten this $700 million over 3 years from costing done by the Parliamentary Budget Office. So in theory, it makes the plan legit. They reckon it'll cost $11.20 a gram.
If you put on all the taxes and a profit margin similar to tobacco, you'd end up paying around $21 a gram.
The costing also estimates a $16.6 million a year saving to Medicare, with people switching from medical cannabis to recreational. But that's about as much as the report goes into when it comes to the social cost, which is how much a substance costs the public in every aspect of life. So in the 2015-16 financial year, cannabis cost Australian taxpayers $4.5 billion. Now, off the bat, over half of that was due to crime, but that still means there was $2.1 billion, which is accounting for cannabis-related drug treatment services and emergency medical events, as well as workplace injuries and people not being at work, as well as other things like cannabis-related car crashes. But it still costs us far less in social harm than opioids, and it's certainly not as bad as alcohol, which costs us over $66 billion a year, and tobacco even worse, $136 billion. But even if it becomes legal, people will still buy illegally, right? Well, initially the Greens report reckons 52% of weed will be bought legally, with that number growing to 80% over 10 years, and that's based on what's happening over in the United States. Green Senator David Shoebridge says eventually billions of dollars in revenue could be benefiting mental health, drug programs and education. He says legalising would take money out of the hands of gangs and organised crime. And Shoebridge says if adults can be trusted responsibly with a beer, why not an infused smoothie or a freshly baked brownie?